It's 8:05, and we are thrilled to welcome the creator and television personality behind Dish It Girl to talk about her brand new cookbook, At the Kitchen Sink: Recipes to Fill Your Table, Words to Fill Your Heart, packed with family favorites and heartfelt stories. The book is all about bringing joy to everyday moments. Dina Deleasa-Gonsar joins us now. Good friend Dina, congratulations on At the Kitchen Sink. Tell us, what inspired you to write this cookbook and share such personal recipes and stories? Good
Good
morning.
morning, Ken. It's so nice to see you again. What a joy to be
Likewise.
here this morning. I think that this book comes from all of I have to give credit to my mother and my father and my grandparents. It's everything that they did for me growing up that kind of they instilled into my heart with Sunday dinners and just the nightly dinners, and everything felt special and everything felt like a celebration. And as I had my own family, I realized it was kind of becoming a lost art. Not having a fancy dinner or like a fancy antipasto, oh, those things are great. Um, but more just having people in your home and having people around your table and how important that community is. And I'm so grateful that I had that growing up. And I wanted to come alongside others in encouraging them to create that for their own homes. I never want to be a means of comparison. I always want to be more of a means of encouragement. So when I wrote this book, I did the 70 plus recipes, but I also did 40 devotional writings because I really didn't want to hand someone a book that just thumbed through it and said, "Oh, I wish my kitchen looked like hers. I wish my family looked like hers." I wanted to grab them where they were at, whether it was at the kitchen sink or maybe it was at their desk at work where they were discouraged, or on the floor with their kids, and just say, you're doing a great job. Your intentionality for your family, your friends, and your community, that's where it's at.
You nail it. And I think back how blessed I was as well. Like you're talking about, we had, Sunday at about 11 a.m. Everybody would
Yep.
start piling in. We'd have about 15 to 17 people, and grandma's kitchen table. She had to put a little folding card table at the end
Yes,
because
the card
nobody fit,
table.
right? You gotta have the card. And the kids, you start out at the card table, and as you know, you kind of you evolve, you move up to the main table. But that was part of Sunday. And
It
at the
is.
time, sometimes you thought it was a burden, and then you look back and realize
Sure.
I was the luckiest guy in the world to have that
Yes.
gathering with family, right?
Yeah, and I love that you bring that up because I do bring that up in the book as well. Sometimes I'm tired and sometimes I don't want to be the one having Sunday dinner. It is something intentional that you have to be intentional about. But I have to say there's so many times where I'm at the kitchen sink washing the dishes and I hear my nieces running around, my dad and my brother talking in the other room, my mom and my sisters, laughing as they're trying to put stuff back into Pyrex and put it into the refrigerator. And I just thank God at those moments. I'm like, this is what I wanted. Because I know you know this. There's nothing better if you can remember back, because these are the memories that hide in our hearts and carry us through the hard times. That garlic and olive oil smell, if when
Hmm.
you're waking up from a nap as a kid and your mom is starting to cook that Sunday sauce or that Sunday gravy, we can have the argument, Ken, however you like. Those are the things that hide in your heart. And they really stick with you and create that legacy and that family tradition feeling. And that's why people keep coming back to the table.
I still can't make my grandmother's chicken cacciatore, and that was probably two Sundays a month she would make that, and my mouth right now, I'm not
It's
kidding, is
watering.
salivating thinking about it. Can't make it, have not, and I have never tasted it anywhere else like hers. I want to go back to her part of Italy and find one of the relatives who can do it but this is why it's so important. The gathering with family and creating those memories for your kids is so
Yes.
important. And you have a baby too. I say baby, no, not a baby anymore, but
I
still
know.
little one.
She'll always be my baby.
Oh, God bless you and her. And faith plays such a strong influence in your writing. You mentioned it briefly about your daily affirmations, and it played a part in how you wrote this and how you engage with people. Why is faith so important in putting that first in your life?
Well, I think that that is the common thread, besides family, that has pulled me throughout some of the harder times in life. And it sounds very cliche to say, but a lot of the times people would ask me, how do you keep your faith? Because I had gone through a very public emergency birth with Sienna. I shared about having postpartum depression and anxiety, not for like sympathy points or anything like that, but at the time was hearing a lot about it and found that there were a lot of other people who had suffered through situations such as that. And then I had to walk through cancer as well. And each time I faced one of these storms, as you can call it, I had to look at them and say, how am I going to walk through this? Am I going to let it overtake me? Am I going to succumb to it? And look, some days I did, but I just found that there was never a moment where I was alone. Even in those moments where you're being wheeled into a surgery room, a surgical room, and they're like, okay, nobody else can go with you. I always felt God's presence with me. I always knew I walked in with an army behind me. I always knew on those nights or those moments where I felt like I was army crawling my way through life, that He was down there with me. And He always sent me, whether it was a form of encouragement through another person speaking to me, or you turn on a podcast and you just hear the right word, or you open up the Bible and you just see the right verse that you need for that day. And I'm so grateful that in writing this book that I had the opportunity to be used by Him in that way, and that someone can open up the book in their moment where they're feeling lonely, discouraged, disappointment, frustrated, whatever that valley or that pit feeling is for them, that they're also going to find an encouraging word for that. So not only encouraging them in the kitchen and making them feel confident, but encouraging them, because not everybody has someone in their life to come alongside them. Maybe not everybody has a ton of family or a ton of friends like I was blessed to have in those moments to carry me through. And I felt like if I had the opportunity to do that for someone, I wanted to take it.
Good for you. Good for you. And I'm sure when you felt that army, that presence, you had that presence. You had your
Oh, for
angels, your
sure.
past
Did. You
family
know it.
members, and God, of course. Yep, with you the
Yes.
whole time. And you
Mhm.
invite readers into your busy family kitchen. Tell us one of your favorite recipes. I'm sure they're like children. Well, you have one, but they're like
I know, you
children,
have
right?
so
Plural.
many.
What's your favorite?
Uh,
Right. What's your fave
gosh.
or a fave?
Okay, so I have to say, I love my recipe for baked penne vodka. And I know it sounds like, oh, well, penne vodka, you can find it anywhere. I know. But there's something about it being baked and the cheesy goodness, and I don't know, it's delicious and it's great for a crowd. It's something I can always make ahead. And I also have recipes in the book that are marked more to share recipes. And I explain that as there are things that are great for dropping off to a friend who just has a baby, or an elderly neighbor who can't cook for themselves, or someone who's just in need. And I do that a lot just through my church and my regular daily life. And I thought that was important to spotlight dishes that package well, that travel well, and that usually go over well in most households. So my baked penne vodka is like a standard. If you had surgery, if you got had a new baby, it's on your doorstep. If you're coming in on a Sunday and I've got like, that normal 25 to 35 hitting my doorstep, trays of penne vodka are coming out. And I can't
Love
forget it
it.
with a
Love
Sunday
it.
salad.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, hey, in Italy they call it pasta al forno. That means pasta from the oven, and
That's very
that's
true.
just mainstay,
That's very
right?
true.
That's what it
It is.
is, and it's a hug. That a dish like that, there's something about the cheese and the crust and
Oh,
the
yes. And the
caramelization. Oh, it's
creamy
just a
sauce.
big hug and
Yeah,
a kiss.
it
Oh,
is. It
again,
is.
I am dying. By the way, after the segment after you is our friend Eric, the travel guy Hastings. He's going to be talking about food travel. So stick
Oh,
around, watch us,
I'm gonna
because
stick
I think
around for
this is a
that for sure.
perfect segue, right? Perfect segue.
Yes.
Um, I just have to ask, give everybody your website. You have a great website. I'm so jealous of how good it is. It's beautiful. Tell everybody the
Oh,
site.
that is very sweet, Ken. Thank you. You can find me at dishitgirl.com or follow along on Instagram at dishitgirldina, and the book at the kitchen sink. It's available Barnes and Nobles and online anywhere books are sold. Thank you so much,
I am
Ken.
buying it. I am buying it. I want you to autograph it for me, please. I adore
You know I
you. You
will.
were the first day I started with the company doing the Columbus Day parade.
Yes,
You were the
yes.
person who held my hand. So you are awesome, and you've
That was
been
an
through so much.
experience. It was an experience.
And I actually I went and watched the TV series on online after we hung out that day because I had to be. I had to. For those that don't realize, got to tell everybody the connection to the Jonas Brothers.
Yeah, so my sister is married to Kevin Jonas, which led to us doing a short stint on reality television. It's a great dinner conversation, Ken. We were on the E
It
Network
must be.
seasons.
I'm sorry to step on you. I was going to say it must be so cool to like go back and see the family and everybody when they were younger, for whatever how many years ago.
It's
It's
crazy.
just
My sister Katie, she was graduating high school and now she's 30 years old and just got married. I mean, it's really
wow.
crazy. I will say, we all say this, the most beautiful part of being a part of that show was that my whole entire family got to go to Italy together. And my
Oh,
mom will not get on a plane. She's just not, doesn't love it. So there was no way that would have ever happened unless we were doing the show. So it
wow.
was just beautiful. And to have all that footage of my dad walking around Italy with everyone just so proud and so excited. I mean, that's something that just goes down in history books for us.
You have an awesome family. And one of my favorite episodes, I'll just leave you with this, is when you got your sister's prom dress. I thought that was so cute. That was such a great episode.
Cute.
So just
Torture
so
for
you know,
her,
really
cute for us.
no, no, that was so sweet. It's really a sweet, honest, very, very honest, open look at the family behind the scenes. There's nothing about it that fit. And I know when they do reality TV, a lot of it is
Oh
staged,
my gosh,
but
reality
you made
TV, is not really real. It's not really real. You're not scripted every word that you say, but they give you storylines, they give you arcs. But what we showed was we were trying to be true to our family, and the drama wasn't the same kind of drama you were seeing next door on the Real Housewives and such. We really were trying to
it.
say, hey, like this is what your everyday family looks like who's interning, who's going to school, who's like, we didn't have mansions. It was a different vibe. It was a different vibe.
Very cool. Well, we want you back again and again, please. The name of the show
Oh,
is
thank
Dish It Girl. The new cookbook is called At the Kitchen Sink, Recipes to Fill Your Table, Words to Fill Your Heart. Dina Deleasa-Gonsar, thank you so much for being here this morning. We adore you and always good
oh,
to see you, my
thank you,
friend.
Ken. Much love.
God bless you. Be well. Thank you.